Hey, Jason here, and today we're going to be working on these 3 starter junipers. Alright, so today I mainly want to discuss how you work on junipers and how there's really no wrong way to do a bonsai. And so to demonstrate that, I've got 3 starter junipers that all have the same shape. You can see them right here. Some are a little bit older, but essentially they're the same shape. It's the same material. It's from the same batch of growing material. So what we're going to do today is we're going to style 3 different trees. I'm going to do a semi-cascade, I'm going to do a cascade, I'm just going to do an informal upright. And you can see how you can take similar material and change it to whatever you want. So I'm going to pick one. I'm going to say, okay, let's do this one as the informal upright. We'll do this one as the semi-cascade. And since this one got a longer runner, I'll just make this the cascades. And so the point of this is really just to show you guys that you can do whatever you want on your trees. Don't be limited by what someone tells you to do. Don't be limited by what style you think you have to do. Just if you want to do something with starter material, you just go ahead and do it. All right, so for this tree, I'm going to turn it into a cascade. It's got a longer runner, so I'm just going to do that. Of course, I could just turn it up and just make it informal upright. It's possible to do that as well. It's entirely up to you, but there's no wrong way to do it. It's entirely up to you and what style you feel like doing at the time. Okay, if I'm going to start on this cascade really right here, I have to put some wire on it just to get this leaning down, maybe get some movement into the trunk down here. So let me do that really quick. Okay, and just like that, I've got that wired up. Take your time when you do this. When the tree is young, this will actually snap really easily. So just be careful as you're doing it. Take your time, you don't have to rush through it. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna cut these branches here. Like I said, I'm setting this up for a cascade, so I'm gonna cut all these in here. If I was doing informal upright right here, I would have saved some of these down here. But since I decided to do a cascade, I'm just gonna go with that design. And I'm going to bring this down like this, and drop it down. And then I'm going to bend it and give it some interesting movement. Basically, I want it to kind of step down. Okay, just like that, I've got a cascade start. It's going to tilt like this right there. It's going to come down and just sweep down. I'm going to put this in a cascade pot. And then what you can do after this is just use some small wire and then fix that around and make that look nice. All right, so now I'm going to work on the next one. And I said I was going to do an informal upright and a semi-cascade. So this is the one we're going to do as a semi-cascade. They look pretty similar. I could really use either one. But let's do this one as a semi-cascade. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut the ones going down. Okay, so I chose the front. You guys know how to choose the front. I'm going to go with this one on this time. I'm going to work with that. And then I'm going to do some wiring, some basic wiring to get this started. Okay, and there's 2 branches here that I really want to work on, so we'll wire those first. So let's take a look at this tree. All right, so this one I've wired two branches, and it's just 1 wire to do 2. So I'm going to drop this down. This is semi-cascade, so I want the apex to be around here and then drop down a little bit, but not as low as the cascade, where it's going to drop below the pot. Okay, just like that. All right, so now I'm going to cut off some branches that I know I don't need for this tree. So this one's going to go. These 2 right here. That's gone right there. And then this one right here, I'm going to shorten it up. Sure the one's going down. Okay, and just like that, I've got the start of a semi-cascade going down right there. All I got to do is bring this branch over, and I've got this nice semi-cascade right there. So now we're going to move on to the general informal upright. We're going to work on this one right here. We'll do an informal upright on this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the front. I found the front right there. And all we're going to do is wire. I'm going to do again, we'll just wire 1 branch. I'm going to use 1 wire just to get the gist of this going. All right, so this one I've wired it. This one I got to take out of this so you can see it a little bit better. Bring this down. That's my first branch there. This is my second branch. Okay, just like that. And I've got my third, and I got my apex right here. Now what I can do is go in and trim the ones I don't need. And we'll do some trimming just to get the ones going down. All right, so just like that, you trim it, put some wire on it, and you can get at least the basis for an informal upright just like that. Those 3 trees that I took, I turned one into a cascade like this. I've got one here that's a semi-cascade going the other way, this little semi-cascade right there. And I've got my informal upright right there, all from similar material. So what I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to do some detail wiring so you guys can see actually what this can look like if you spend the time to work out sort of the small branches. So give me a second to do that and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. So as you can see, it's entirely up to you how you want to do your tree. You can take 3 trees that basically start with similar shapes and transform them into whichever tree or which style that you prefer. You know, if you're in the mood to do a semi-cascade, then you can just use that. You know, was there another front to this tree? Yeah, I could have used the front on this side right here instead of made an informal upright. That would have been easy. But if you're in the mood to do a semi-cascade, then just go ahead and do one. Same applies to if you just want to do a simple informal upright, you can just do your left, right branches, your first, second branch and all that, and do that right there. And if you're really in the mood for a cascade and you have in mind, you know, say you have a pot that you have in mind, you can do a simple cascade just like that, and that'll look really nice in a pot. All right, so the point is that there's no really wrong way to style a bonsai. It all kind of depends on what mood you're in and what kind of tree you feel like styling at the moment. But with the bigger trees, you tend to go with maybe what a tree is giving you or which way a tree is leaning when you're working with a bigger tree. But when you're working with young material and you can wire the trunk and manipulate it, just like this one right here, you know, when you can manipulate it however you'd like, you can basically style it in whatever fashion you desire. So I grabbed a pot from back there. I really prefer semi-cascades and kind of a round pot. So if you look at that, it can look pretty nice. You know, that looks pretty nice like that. I prefer if it was unglazed, but that's not too bad. And then with the informal upright, you know, I'd probably go with a rectangle, but you can see that it look pretty good even in this little tiny pot right there. All right, so hopefully that gives you an idea or some ideas of what to do when you've got material lying around. Hopefully that opens up sort of the options that you have. You know, if you've got a young tree, wire the trunk, see what other shapes you can make. If you've already got a cascade, try semi-cascade. Try to experiment with different types of styles, and hopefully that way you'll have trees that have different shapes, and when you look at them, there'll be a nice variety. All right, so let me know in the comments which style you guys like. If you guys like the cascade, the semi-cascade, or the informal upright, let me know which kind of styles you guys like to do on your trees. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, as always, thanks for watching.